So hey, in my last video, I kind of challenged my subscribers to name four economy-changing events that happened during the 70s. It happened to be the decade when I grew up. And most of those events I was not particularly aware of, although I did suffer some of the impact. And the first event was that in response to overspending by the US during the 60s, the Vietnam War, LBJ's Great Society Program, welfare spending, and European countries and trading partners started to rebel. They thought we were inflating the dollars that we were paying them for their goods. And they brought the dollars back to the U.S. and demanded gold because the U.S. was on a gold standard ever since 1944 and the Bretton Woods meeting. Gold could be exchanged for a fixed rate of U.S. dollars. And most famously, President Charles de Gaulle of France did that, reputedly sending a warship to Fort Lee, New Jersey, dump his dollars in exchange for gold. That became such a bank run that the U.S. gold stocks reduced from about 20,000 tons after World War II, 70% of the world's gold, down to 8,000 tons. And so the president at the time, Richard Nixon, he slammed the bank door shut, wouldn't redeem any more gold. So he cut loose the anchor of the world's trading system from the dollar with respect to gold. So that was the first big event in the 70s. And then the Saudis, leading OPEC after the Yom Kippur War in 1973 against Israel, embargoed oil to the U.S. Oil went from $3 a barrel to $12 a barrel, so quadrupled. We're complaining today because it's $100 a barrel. That led to an oil shock and inflation in the U.S. And that I do remember because I started driving that decade. I remember the gas lines and the gas rationing. Inflation jumped to 12%, unemployment hit 7%. In response to that, the Fed chairman, Paul Volcker, hiked interest rates to 20% to get inflation down. In 1974, the Secretary of State at the time for Nixon, Henry Kissinger, had a deal with the Saudi royal family who ran the country. And basically, we will protect you and sell you U.S. armaments if you denominate and sell your oil in dollars. So recycle your dollars into our treasuries. That's called the petrodollar system that exists to this day. Okay, one more thing that happened in the end of the 70s. Iranian radicals took over the U.S. embassy, took a bunch of hostages, and held them for about a year in 1979. Oil went to $40 a barrel, and inflation surged to 13% in 1980. Okay, just some interesting history from my formative years in the 70s. I hope you found this interesting as well. We'll talk to you next time.